What's up, internet video consuming tobacco enjoyers? 1 PS here. We're watching a pot and the water is boiling. Anyway, I thought of a funny story about water boiling. And why am I showing my stovetop? No, it's about why I had to put this tile around it. I think it looks alright. And also a funny story, when I put in this very cheap electric stovetop to replace the old 50s one that was in there. But yeah, I only cut 3 tiles. That one, that middle one there on the top, and then that corner one. And then actually I got a little narrow strip and I cut out a little piece for that side and the other side there. But and then after I make some coffee here with this boiling water, I'm gonna go smoke a Bandito. I got the assorted Bandito thing that they had on smoking pipes, or no, pipes and cigars. And yeah, it was 20 honeyberry, which is my least favorite, but I'm kind of running out of them now because I smoked them a lot. They're pretty smokable. They grew on me, all of them did. And then Russian cream, and then bold and rich. That's what it came with, 20 of each. And that's what made me pull the trigger on it, because I've been thinking of trying the Banditos, but I didn't know which flavor I wanted, because you get 60. I was like, what if I hate it? You know, I'm glad I didn't get 60 of these honeyberries. But if I would have got the Russian cream or the bold and rich, I would have been happy. Those both grew on me. The bold and rich actually is kind of good. It took me a while to realize that. It took me about 3 or 4 of them to realize that they grew on me. Anyway, I'm gonna make this coffee so I lose the heat. Croc walk. Just decided to go on a little stroll. Get the honeyberry going. Kind of burning funny. Sometimes they burn funny, but I think that's because I'm just smoking it too fast or something. Anyway. Yeah, it's kind of brisk out. It's about 45 degrees according to my phone, but it feels a little warmer than that. So, the story of what happened to my stovetop and my countertop. So back in, when I first got this house, it was 2010, bottom of the housing market. Just life worked out. I wish I could say I was a financial genius, but it just worked out for me. Anyway, got the house. I invested in an extra month's rent at my old apartment so I could move out over a month instead of having to do it all fast. And I used to be heavily involved in martial arts, a particular martial art, and it was right around the time I was going for my black belt, and I ended up 5 days after I moved into my new house, I tore my ACL. That's like a turning point in my life. But went through kind of an ordeal. Because I'm not a Minnesota Viking, I don't get ACL surgery like the same week. It took me like 6 months. It had to like heal up, and then, you know, when they did the surgery, I had to like go through all the pain again of the soreness and everything. Sorry, got myself out of breath. How can I be in such bad shape? I just walked up a little hill while smoking and talking too much. Anyway, so what happened was I eventually got the surgery. It's the only positive medical experience I ever had, in that the doctor was really, really good. And it was orthoscopic, so I was walking the same day. And they were like, let us give you something for the pain. And I was like really against that because I know the whole game of how they get you hooked on opiates, and then as soon as you get hooked, they cut them out, and then next thing you know, you're out on the street doing heroin. So nowadays fentanyl, but that wasn't like, that existed, but that wasn't on the radar back then. But anyway, so I get my surgery. They tell me, you're gonna want something for the pain, and I told them, oh shit, look who I see. The Turks. We'll go look at them while I'm talking. Anyway, I told them, you know what? This actually doesn't hurt anywhere as bad as I thought it would, and I think I'll be just fine. And they're like, oh no, wait till tonight. You won't be able to sleep. I'll just take the pills. I'm like, you know what? All right, I'll prescribe them, and then I won't take them if I don't need them. But so they gave me these. I think it was either oxycodone or hydrocodone. These 2 little pills, 2 little tiny pills. And they tell me, like, these things were small. They tell me break them in half and take half in the morning, half at night, then half the next morning, half the next night. We're gonna go to landscape mode for this. And what happened was, it wasn't that bad, but I was kind of like, let me take one of these things. So I pull the thing out, and I'm like, they wanted to break this in half? That's like nothing. How could that do anything? So I popped the whole thing, the whole little pill, and it got me pretty looped. I was feeling pretty chill. And then the next day, I took the other one. And I honestly, I'm ashamed to say, I took it for shits and giggles. I didn't take it because I was in pain. So I'm chilling, feeling very, very chill. And I was recovering from having worked 2 full-time jobs simultaneously for 2 years. That's how part of the way that I got my down payment. Sorry, I better aim at the turkeys. And like when I say 2 full-time jobs, I mean I worked 8 hours from 7 to 3:30 or whatever it was, and then I had about an hour in between, and then I went and worked another job for 8 hours. I'll tell about that sometime. But I kind of had some people were cool with me there, and they let me sleep on the job, take power naps. So anyway, the reason I say that is to talk about the power naps. I kind of got into this phase where I could take power naps, and like I'd set my alarm for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and I could go to sleep instantly. Like, that's how exhausted I was all the time. And my sleep schedule to this day is permanently messed up. But it was lunchtime. I decided I was going to make myself some ramen noodles, but I don't eat anymore, because it turns out they're actually pretty disgusting unless you get like artisan made ones or something, or make them yourself, I guess. But in any case, I decided to make some ramen noodles. So I started boiling some water, and I like to put an egg, hard-boiled egg, in my ramen noodles. So start hard-boiling an egg and boiling the water, and I decide I'm going to take a 10-minute power nap while this water's coming to a boil, and then I'm going to come in and turn the water off and let it sit and boil the egg, and set my alarm on my phone, and I lay down on the couch, and suddenly I wake up all refreshed, and you got that early morning music in your head going on, and you're like, wow, I feel so good. I feel so relaxed. And then all of a sudden it occurs to me, holy shit, I was boiling water, and holy shit, I was only supposed to sleep 10 minutes, and why didn't my alarm go off? I still don't know why. I must have done something wrong. It was on opiates. And I get that panic feeling, and I run into my kitchen, and there's a vent hood over the stove, like one of the nicer features of my kitchen, and it's really powerful, and it's on, and there's just smoke billowing from my countertop. And my countertop, which is like press board, you know, a standard countertop, it's smoldering to the point that there's little open flames on it, like, and all the smoke is going straight up that vent hood, and my smoke alarm didn't go off. It's just like a column of smoke going right up the vent hood, which is on, and my countertop is smoldering, and the egg is like burned to a crisp. The water's all gone out of the pot. The stovetop, the old stovetop, is like all charred looking around that burner, and I'm like, holy shit! But it wasn't so bad. Not number one, the smoke, because of the vent hood. It wasn't like smoke inhalation going on or something. And I just started wetting paper towels. I just whipped out the paper towels and started pulling out wads and wetting them in the sink and throwing them onto the burning areas. And I was able to put the fire out very quickly and easily. But now my countertop's all charred in my brand new house. Not brand new, but new to me. That I just got this was actually 6 months after, because it was 5 days after I moved in that I tore my ACL. And then it was like 6 months later that I finally got the surgery. So it was like 6 months, but it was still a new house to me. I'm gonna pause it. People are coming to look at the turkeys, and I'm gonna go move over to the park. Oops, I had some kind of unknown technical difficulty, and I didn't record a little section of my story, which was just finishing up saying how I had cut out the old burned spot, and then I replaced it with some countertop that I got at Habitat for Humanity Restore, which is like Goodwill, but they sell like building materials and tools and stuff. And I cut that out to the right size, and I bracketed that up there, and then I put, the little bit of construction adhesive, and then I put the tiles down to cover it up. And then I started to tell about the next part of the story about that stove is when I went to replace that stovetop, and we can continue on from there. A water droplet hit my phone and shut it off or something. Anyway, so I decided to change that countertop, and now my electrical system of my house is crazy. It's got an old fuse box with fuses in the ball and tube wiring or whatever, and then it's got new Romex and a circuit breaker box too. And the part that my kitchen is, oh, let's see what some scholar wrote here. Fart. I don't know what this is. Some kind of graffito tagging. Anyway, so on that note, I'm down there in the basement trying to figure out how to which fuse or circuit it is. I know that the kitchen's on fuses. So anyway, I ended up just turning everything off. Everything off. And or so I thought. And I go up there, and to this day, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know how I did this wrong, but it was still freaking live. 220 was live, and I'm underneath the counter messing with the wiring. And real quick, I got the two wires close to each other, and I'm underneath the counter. This is like a foot away from my face, or a foot and a half away from my face. I'm under there with the flashlight all crumpled up, and all of a sudden, just boom! There's like a light in my eyes as bright as the sun right in front of my face, and a big green flash. Or I mean, like my vision is like stained with like green. It's like how you see green after you just see a big bright flash. I just see like green everywhere. My ears are ringing. It was like it wasn't that loud, but it wasn't like a gunshot. It didn't like hurt my ears, but it surprised me really bad. Like, it's like my ears were almost ringing. I don't know if they really were, but I called an electrician, and I honestly am embarrassed about that, but I was just like, you know what, man, you're getting too reckless with life. And so that's the other story. I don't know if it's that funny, but excuse me. Inhaled a little bit of this honeyberry. Yeah, these Toscanos are good. They're pretty, not Toscanos. It's not a Toscano. Not anywhere as good as a Toscano, but these are a good little quick smoke. I might buy some more. If I do, I'm going to get the Bold and Rich, though. And I would avoid the honeyberry. The Russian cream is also pretty good. But there's a good value to it. Anyway. Liminal space lenting. Which way do we go? We're at the crossroads. Anyway. I just was looking for an excuse to make video, to be perfectly honest. So, I got some family in town. My parents are in town. They're going to a wedding. 1PS wasn't invited. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really know the people. So, and I wouldn't have wanted to go anyway. I don't like going to weddings. Being a married guy. Being a single guy, it could be fun to go to weddings. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to let you guys go now. I'm going to walk home. It's supposed to warm up about 10 degrees. It actually isn't too bad. I got my leather on. So I'm kind of toasty. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Peace out.